In this video, we are going to learn about the equity theory to understand how salaries affect our motivation. We recently wrote an article on this topic in the Journal of American College of Radiology. A link is in the description below. As bonus material, at the end of the video, I will propose a simple model that makes compensation easy and fair, and at the same time ensures a high degree of staff engagement, motivation, and improves faculty retention. Hey friends, my name is Puneet Bhargava and I'm Professor of Radiology at the University of Washington and editor of Current Problems in Diagnostic Radiology. Intrinsic motivational factors such as autonomy, mastery, and purpose, made famous in the book Drive by Daniel Pink, play a far more important role than extrinsic motivational factors such as reward or punishment. If there was ever a boxing match between intrinsic and extrinsic factors, the intrinsic factors would win by a knockout. The carrot and stick model, where we rely on strictly compensation as a reward or punishment to motivate, is obsolete in complex environments such as radiology. A often cited study by Daniel Kahneman from 2010 concluded that emotional well-being rises with income, but there is no further progress beyond an annual income of $75,000 US. This amounts to $89,500 in today's dollars, and in a high cost of living area like Seattle, where I live, this would be $93,500. They concluded that higher income buys life satisfaction, but does not add to our happiness. Nevertheless, compensation is a necessity, and along with other rewards and incentives, remains a valuable motivational tool. We have to understand the importance of perception of fairness in these times where social justice is on everyone's mind. The equity theory proposes that the motivation of an individual depends on the perception of fair treatment. In the workplace, this means that people want to be compensated fairly for their contributions when compared to others. Although this perception of fairness is relative and highly subjective, it significantly affects motivation, attitude, and behavior. Individuals evaluate fairness by comparing the ratio of their output to input. Now, input can be anything of value that the individual brings to the job: time commitment, loyalty, flexibility, tolerance, and enthusiasm, among others. Output is the benefit that an individual gets from the job: salary, job security, reputation, responsibility, and recognition, amongst others. Note that this comparison does not use objective metrics, but is purely subjective, and the comparing parameter may be anything that the individual may choose. Equity exists when the output-input ratio of the individual is perceived to be the same as that of the comparison other, whereas inequity exists when the comparative ratio is perceived to be unequal. On one end of the spectrum are the benevolents, who are more tolerant of underpayment and willing to give more for less returns than their comparison. Whereas on the other hand of the spectrum are the entitles, who feel that the world owes them and they are worth more than they're getting. In the middle are equity sensitives, who want the ratio to be equal to that of the comparison. When an individual experiences tension as a consequence of perceived inequity, he or she will work hard to alleviate the inequity and tension. For example, a radiologist who feels that he is not adequately compensated for the work he's doing may read fewer cases per day, read slowly, arrive late, or leave early. He may take a lot of sick leave without a valid reason, even though it is unethical. He may rationalize and justify this as an inevitable consequence of inequity. Alternatively, he may ask the chairperson for a pay raise to rectify the perceived inequity. Radiology leaders and partners need to understand the concepts of the equity norm, meaning employees' expectation of a fair return for what they contribute to their jobs, and social comparison, which is employees seeking equitable return after comparing their inputs and outputs with that of their co-workers. The perception of inequity and its inevitable complications, such as underproductivity and other undesirable work behaviors, should be addressed promptly. Since the problem is perception, it can only be identified by obtaining feedback from employees and discussing their preferred outcomes. For example, some employees might want more compensation, others may want more recognition or vacation time. At a higher level, the perception of inequity can be avoided by having a fair and transparent system. The volume of clinical work, including on-call responsibilities, should be distributed as evenly as possible across the department. A salary-only compensation model structured on academic rank and/or years of experience would help in removing the perception of inequity. This plan should not have a negotiable component. A similar fare structure should be used for non-salary benefits and other increments as well. Compensation plans that are based on individual productivity metrics should be avoided since they often lead to bitterness and comparisons. The general structure of the compensation plan should be shared with all radiologists to ensure transparency. Bonuses and incentives should be avoided as it leads to unnecessary comparisons and perceptions of inequity. It will also save unnecessary time spent creating individual productivity metrics and eliminate undesired practices. Any surplus revenue that can be distributed should be shared with the entire department. So let's recap. Everyone makes the same base salary. This is benchmarked and salaries are made public. Those with administrative responsibilities get a standardized supplement. As a recruitment signing bonus or as part of a retention package, a one-time allowance is made, but the base salary are non-negotiable. Here's the provocative idea. Is it time to discard the traditional, obsolete, unfair, opaque compensation models and move towards a standardized, salaried, no bonus, transparent compensation model that improves engagement, motivation, and promotes gender, race, and ethnic equality? Please let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. I would love your suggestions, disagreements, and experiences. We need to have a robust discourse on such subjects to make significant progress on these issues. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and press the like button to be notified when I release the next video. It would mean a lot to me as a newbie YouTuber. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.